Welcome, chess aficionados, to chapter 7. This is on the move 3h6 after knight c6, most common move, and we're going to play our Italian game with the bishop to c4, putting pressure down the a2 to g8 diagonal. And here black plays h6, so you might think, what's the idea of h6? This is not a very aggressive move, and it's certainly not. But you will see this a lot, especially on the lower levels. People are going to be afraid of a knight coming here. They're going to be afraid of a bishop coming here. They're just going to be a little bit afraid in general, and just try to hold it together. Keep you from attacking and checkmating them. Bring their knight out, bring their bishop out, and castle, and hope to have an equal game. They might even be playing for a draw. So, what do we do in these type of positions? Well, anytime you see a kind of unusual move that's not very aggressive, like h6 or a6 or b6, we're going to strike in the center with d4. And more often than not, they're going to take, we take, and now here black has a few options. If black takes, which is the most common move, we're going to take back. And yeah, you can see that black has a huge, white has a huge development advantage. Black hasn't developed anything. You might think the queen in the center is a bit vulnerable, but it's not really. I mean, black can try to strike it with c5 or something like that, but here we could, yeah, go to maybe d3, and now this pawn is backwards. We're just going to keep developing. Um, and if knight f6, this is a bad move because we can already kick the knight away. And yeah, black can't come forward. Yeah, he can't even come here because this is probably winning. Well, he can pin it, but after we defend, yeah, looks winning. Looks like we're just winning the knight here. So he can't do that. So he's either got to go back to g8 or go to h7. And yeah, this is just terrible. So he can't do that. He can play d6. But again, we're just developing, and there's not really too much to talk about. I mean, you could practice these positions with the engine if you like, or you could just throw on Stockfish and see how throw on Stockfish or look at some master games, um, just to see all the different ways that white can take advantage of this development lead. In fact, after I finish this series, I may make another series on middle game plans and kind of how to winning positions. But suffice to say, this is just a very good position. And yeah, there's really not too much to say. Yeah, after h6, you're just going to play d4. Um, yeah, if he attacks your bishop, you could stay on this diagonal, or you could come back here and just blast the knight away with f4, and then you could, yeah, just decide what to do from there. Maybe castle kingside. Maybe after knight c3, bishop e3, you could castle queenside after moving your queen. Um, yeah, white just has an edge, and after d6, you could just castle. And yeah, this is one way to do it as well. Again, taking advantage of this knight. It doesn't look like we can play this move because he can take, but if he does take, we got this very common trick where we deflect the king away from the queen and yeah, have a good position. If he moves his king, well, his position's all discombobulated. We could trade queens, or we could even just bring the bishop back. And yeah, because if we trade, actually, his king can come back, and he's in the way of the bishop. He may have to move the king anyway. And yeah, this is a great position. So he takes, just taking back, and oops, obviously these pawns are a big disaster for black. And yeah, and he's not even up a pawn or anything like that. So, and yeah, he could counterattack in the center, but this is obviously also bad, this type of position. Um, yeah. And yeah, if we don't want double pawns ourselves, we could even take the time to play a move like this. Yeah, again, not too much to say. This pawn is weak. The king is weak. Pretty easy to develop our pieces. And yeah, everything that gets traded is going to make it um, easier for us to convert with the bad pawn structure. You know, in a king and pawn endgame, assuming our king can get active, these pawns will all be sitting ducks if we don't win them before then. So, yeah, again, this is a short chapter, not a lot of very specific variations, and certainly nothing you need to memorize. Just remember after h6, you don't really want to play timidly with like d6. I mean, this is also okay, um, but yeah, you want to get all your pieces on central squares, and yeah, activity is always important. But if your opponent plays timidly, activity is yeah could just lead to a very quick win. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. That'll be a bit more in depth, longer one on the Rousseau Gambit, which is very trendy these days. So we will get into it. Thanks for watching.